Hello everyone, my name is Mocha Panda and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about probably one of the most bad habits that everyone has, and it's learning matchups. So let me explain. Now, I always talked about, like, in my anti-guides that I've made, the little mini ones about Lei and Lucky Chloe, how like, oh, hop kick is launch punishable, or while crouching forward on block is launch punishable, etc. Or both of these are highs that you can duck the second hit regardless, even if she does hit you on block. So a lot of the times we get really frustrated, like super frustrated. Like if they know, like, oh, how to counter Cali Roll, well, you either sidestep left or right, doesn't matter because it doesn't have tracking, or you can challenge Lucky Chloe if she does that, or if she does, you know, the thing, you know, like the thing, that little breakdance right there, that you can punish her. Or how, like, if I do double, that's also punishable. Or if I do timed it correctly, and if they block all the hits, and she's still in that recovery animation, you could still punish me and launch punish me, etc. And say, like, they know about down 4-1 into 3. Like, oh my gosh, how are they doing this? They're always low parrying me all the time, etc. And we all been in that situation, especially in a tournament. Like, I cannot stress this enough. How, like, if I'm playing Lucky Chloe or I'm playing Lei, specifically Lei for some reason, everyone knows how to counter Lei. Like, my Lei playstyle specifically. And in my head, it's making me frustrated. Like, how the hell do I, like, break their shell of some sort? How the hell do I actually start doing damage? What should I start doing? Well, there's a simple answer to that. One, and this is a very important tip, honestly, in my opinion at least, is that you need to start getting out of that bad habit of autopiling. As much as comfortable as it is to autopilot, because I know everyone has an autopilot, they do specific strings all the time, and no one punishes them, no one checks them, no one ever does anything like to punish them. Like, oh, I can get away with this so freely and no one can ever punish me. Oh, I'm so good at this game. Like, there will be that one specific person that you will lose to, like, 15, 10 games in a row, and you're just like, I am throwing everything at you. I'm using moves that I don't even use, like this string right here, or this move right here, or I'm using this move right here, or I'm waiting and I'm using that move, which is -18. If you guys watch my other Lucky Chloe video, like, I'm doing things that I'm not comfortable doing. So, for instance, what I like to do with Lucky Chloe is that I like to do this a lot. So if you guys know my playstyle, I like to do this. Why is that? In my head, I'm usually thinking, like, the opponent doesn't know how to counter this. Like, they're going to be really scared, because they're scared of this. This is what they're really scared of. And I'll have a lot of opponents do this shit, where they're like, oh, I'm going to just stand still and not do anything. And in my head, that's like, oh, now I have you. Now I can do anything I want with you. It's like with Junkyard for Law. Like, you know how Junkyard, like, if you don't low parry the second hit, and if that Law player knows that you cannot low parry that second hit, they're going to keep using it. Or it's the same thing with grabs. Like, if your opponent knows specifically that you cannot break grabs, they're going to keep using it. So going back to, like, saying, like, how everyone has a certain play style, it's the same ideology, so to speak. So if my opponent knows, like, that there's 2 strings for this, but they can interrupt the 3-2 version, which I'm doing right here, like, in the middle of it, they're gonna press the button. They're gonna hit me. They're gonna tell me no. You're not gonna do that for free. Or if they know how to low parry that, or they can duck this, or that this is launch punishable, it's gonna frustrate me as a player, and it's gonna really, like, anger me, piss me off, more or less. And then I'm gonna get really more frustrated. Like, it's gonna hit you eventually. Like, in my head, it's gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you with this hop hit. I'm gonna hit you with this other hop hit. I'm gonna keep doing back 4 because that's the only thing I know, right? So it's basically conditioning yourself to try other things. Now, if those other things still do not work, like, they really know your character inside and out, and they know the strengths and weaknesses of your character, that's going to be the biggest, like, wall that you're going to face, like, in any fighting game in general. But specifically Tekken, that's going to be a huge problem. And that other wall that you're going to have to break through. Because a friend of mine, who goes by Haku Sonata, was talking about like, oh, I hit this wall. I don't know what to do. It's so hard. It's so tough. Nothing against him. I've been there too. I know how it feels. It's really frustrating. Because you're going to find that person who knows how to stop you and knows how to deal with you and knows how to play against your playstyle and play to your weaknesses. So with all that, like, how do I deal with that? Well, you're going to have to go back to the basics. So what are the basics? Mocha, what are basics? What are you talking about? I'm actually good at this game. I'm yellow rank, I'm purple rank, I'm blue rank, hell, I'm even Tekken God Omega. What are you trying to tell me, Mocha? Alright. So a lot of times Tekken is really based around jab checking, poking, down 4-1. A lot of characters universally have a good down 4-1. In this case, Lucky Koi does have a good down 4-1. It has good range, +7, 13 frames. Pretty nice. Good job. Alright. Also, this is a sort of a good poke, +2 on hit. 4 right here. I talked about in my other video that on counter hit, I get +7. And there's different animations. Like here's a normal animation, +2. Here's the counter hit animation for 4 on +7. And Anna right there, she does that. Oh shit. YouTube curse, YouTube curse, YouTube curse. Thank you. She grabs her stomach. So it's like really those little things to open up your opponent. So again, like if my opponent knows how to deal with Cali Roll and they just sidestep and then they punish me, I'm gonna tell myself, like in my head or whatever, that I can't use Cali Roll because they know how to deal with it, and they'll keep punishing me. And it's like going into madness. Like whatever Far Cry 3 guy said. I never played Far Cry 3. Forgive me. I should be playing that. Like. You're trying to do the same thing, like the same formula, and expecting a different answer. But it's still the same thing. You're still doing the same bad habits, and you're expecting it to work. Because it worked all over those other players that you beat in, right? But now you're facing top players, pro players, and they're like, oh, I know how to deal with you. And now I can do things that you're scared of, and I know you're not going to punish it. And even though I already know that you're not going to punish it and you're not going to launch me, so I'm going to get away with it for free. So now in your head, you're just like, how is this player so good? How is this player like undefeatable? I cannot crack this person because they keep low parrying my lows. They keep pressing buttons, and even though I think it's my turn, but it's not my turn, I'm at the wall. My back is against the wall. I need help. What do? I cannot press a button. This game is not fun for me. We all been in that situation. More times than we can count. So again, the point I'm trying to make is that if you have a really strong opponent who knows how to play against you, you're gonna have to go on the basics. So again, poking, jab checking, and all that stuff. Playing neutral, making them wanting to press a button. So you're playing neutral, movement's all good. You're playing with them and all that stuff. Neutral's great. Just poking them out ahead. All right. Hop kicking them, making them whiff, for that matter, waiting for a whiff punish. It's more of like who's gonna press the first mistake. Like I think that's where Tekken really grows at, is waiting for your opponent to make that first mistake and punishing them. Now with that saying, like playing on defense, because I'm usually a defensive person. I like to play defensively, and I like to wait for my opponent to do a punishment, like do a move that's unsafe and all that stuff. And then I'll punish them. Like wall rising 4, crouching 4, take their toes and all that stuff, blah blah blah, etc. etc. Like I'm waiting for them to make the mistake before I do. Like I will punish your mistake, but again, you're gonna have those people who are like, they're just like blocking everything and all that such. Like how, like I cannot break this person. Like this person is beating my ass. And then look at that, you're 2-0 in tournament. I mean, you're 0-2. Man, that's crazy. Shake my hand, dog. GG's. Well played. I will see you next year. And you'll still do the same results. No one wants to be in that position where we go 0-2 and then we're thinking to ourselves, that we're the worst player ever. No one wants to do that. No one wants to feel like that whatsoever. So again, you're going to have to resort to the basics. Now, a lot of people may disagree with me and such. That's totally fine. I don't really care. But I'm just saying what I've experienced in tournament, what I experienced in locals, that you're going to find those people. And those are good things too. don't take it like as a bad thing. It's just more of like those people are showing your mistakes. So like, say like my opponent is punishing me on my hop kick, whatever, and they're like punishing me like by launching me, etc. They know their punishments against my character are like, in my head, instead of just getting pissed off all the time, I should focus on like, how can I fix this situation and make it better for myself? So instead of going for a hop kick, maybe if I like to do hop kick, but I want to do a less safer version, more safer version, then I'll go for a 4-4. It's minus 13. True, I won't get that range and all that such, but it's minus 13. I won't get launch punish. And then get carried to the wall, blah, blah, blah. So that's an easy fix. It's not the greatest fix, but it's still a fix though. And say like my down 4-1, since down 4-1 has a string to go into down 4-1-3, my opponent, if my opponent knows every time that I do this shit all the time, I could use that to my advantage. And you're like, Mocha, how does that make sense? If they know how to do it, how to low parry me and block me and then punish me, why is that an advantage? Well, this is where you start to understand, like, if they're gonna do that, then I will counter them and not do the 3. If that makes sense. So your opponent's gonna be like, oh, I'm blocking, then I'll block low. It's the same pattern, because I know you're autopiling. But if I change up the rhythm of my playstyle, then they're gonna be like, oh, here's that. And if I know my opponent's gonna crouch, then I'll hop kick, or I'll down forward 2, or I'll do another mid. You see what I'm saying? That there's a weakness right there. So this is a mid low, all right? So what I'm trying to say is that if my down 4-1 is a mid and I have a string that's a low, all right, and my opponent blocks, holds back, and then blocks low, and then they'll punish me with a raw rising 4, let's just say generic punishment, then if I stop at my down 4-1 right here, and then I launch them, because I know that they're gonna crouch, because you can hop kick speed crouching, mid speed crouching, then I get the combo, then I'm at the advantage. Now my opponent's like, oh, he's not gonna do the low, then I should stay blocking. Now I'm be like, oh, you didn't block low, that's crazy, now I got this mix up on you, and I'm +8. Man, it's like mixing up my opponent, mistiming my rhythm, messing up my rhythm. So my opponent is not gonna be like, oh yeah, I know my opponent, like, I know this guy likes to do crouching 4, while rising 4, and then 4. I'll just block all those 3 hits, back up a little bit, and then go for my attack. Instead of doing all that, I could be doing like this, down for a low, back up, down for a low, down for a low. They're like, oh wait, okay, now they're blocking low. Now I gotta low parry your ass. And if they're gonna start crouching low, conditioning them, then I'm gonna go for a hop kick. This is like a lot of information, or probably like confusion, so to speak. It's like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, I thought we were gonna be learning something else. No, this is an important lesson. Because again, you're gonna find people who are gonna know how to counter your character, and you're gonna need to understand, like, how do I crack this person? Like, how do I break their shell? Because you're gonna play people who are very turtley, and what I mean by that, like, they like to stay back, they like to keep their pace, they like to control neutral, and they'll poke at you, and they'll keep chipping at you, and all that damage keeps adding up. Because if you get 4 of these, 4 4s, I get 60 damage right there. That's 60 damage away from your health. And that still adds up. Damage still adds up regardless. And all that such. For instance, what was a thing I like to do? I think it was that, like... Oh, wait, yeah. So there was a stream that I did to Cody. I think it was like 2018 or 2017. I don't remember it. So I faced Cody and Combo Breaker. And I did a weird rhythm string. So like I would do this stuff, and then I'll do that, right? At first it did work on him, and then after a while, like the second time, he was like, oh, I saw this string, immediate involuntary action, voluntary action, I'm gonna low parry that. And he low parried me, and then I got carried. He was playing double gym. And so I was like, oh, this is a bad habit. I should not be doing this all the time. And that stopped me from actually doing that when we were playing against each other in Combo Breaker. So my point being is you're gonna have to understand, like, oh, if this one style that I'm doing is not working, maybe I should try other things. So for instance, a good example, all right, so there's different strings, and I talk about how like some strings are good and how some strings are bad. Well, sometimes, and in rare cases, all right, you're gonna have to mix it up. So I have this mid right here, it's -11, it wall bounces, all right? And I have this other mid that's -4. And I have this other one that's high, mid, high, high. So why are these here, all right? So a good thing to have, you have options. And like with any other character, especially Lei specifically, because he has so much options, but right now we're talking about Lucky Chloe, these are still options that you can still do to confuse your opponent. Now, with that saying, you don't have to do the string entirely, but you can do something else regardless. You have those options to confuse your opponent. You're like, oh, I know he likes to do the mid, or I know that he likes to dig jab immediately after he does this string specifically. Now, with Lucky Chloe, all right, if I'm crouching, because this leaves me in crouch, what are my options from this position? I have down 3, -3, all right, it high crushes. I have down 4. It's good. Let's go low. It's nice. 13 frames. I have wall rising 4. Wall rising 3. Wall rising 2, which is a launcher. And I have wall rising 1 that if the first hit connects, this also connects, which is also a launcher right there. I have a lot of options, or I can go for a grab. So I have 1, 2. Oh, I have wall crouching 4. I have wall crouching 1. I have wall crouching 2. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options. 8 if you count the grab. So I have 8 options just from this crouching position. Oh, 9 technically, because I also can hop kick. So I have 9 options just from crouching alone. That's 9 pathways or like things you can do just to confuse your opponent, right? So I could do jig jab, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, which is a mid. I could do hop kick, etc., etc., etc. And your opponent's be like, oh, you're crouching, I'll just check a mid with you. Oh, matter of fact, I'll just hop kick you instead. Oh, and then my opponent's like, oh, I know he likes to hop kick her a lot, and he's crouching, and he does this weird string tech trap, whatever the hell you want to call it. Then I'm just gonna block and then launch punish him. Now you're inside their head. Now you're like, okay, I got him in my head. I'm gonna go for a grab, and they're like, wait, I wasn't expecting the grab. And this is gonna put you like at a position where like you're trying to make your opponent condition, but not like condition all the way. Again, what I mean by that, you gotta add more habits to you. If that makes sense. Instead of autopiling. So again, try new things, jab check, poke, and all that stuff. Grab, please grab, you gotta grab. I mean, sometimes you don't have to, but if your opponent knows you like to grab, then they're gonna be like, oh, I need to break those grabs. And another rule that I always tell people, if something is working, like say like they're falling for hop kick all the time, or they're not punishing this, keep using it. Just keep doing it. And that goes for any move in Tekken in general. Just keep using it against that opponent. Say like if I'm in a tournament and I'm playing against someone who doesn't know how to break grabs, but they're really great at combos. Like they are super great at combos. They know how to wall carry me, tech traps and everything. Like that's all great and dandy, but they cannot break grabs to save their damn life. And I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna control you, and I'll be like, oh, jab check. Oh, another grab. Wow, I get free damage right there. Oh, another grab. Oh, more free damage. That's crazy. Oh, special grab. Don't know what to do. Look at that. Look at that pressure, +7. You see what I'm saying? Like, keep using the things on your opponent. Analyze what your opponent can do, then figure out what their weakness is really quickly, because you only have a short amount of time between rounds and within the set to figure out what your opponent is. Who they are, what do they like to do, what are their favorite habits they like to do, And you're gonna start to see and understand like, oh, that makes more sense. Like, go back to your replays if you can. Like, check out what does my opponent keep doing to me that is working on me. For instance, like Paul likes to use, like I faced a Paul player who likes to use fucking Death Fist all the time, and nothing but Death Fist and Demo Man. And I'm just like, oh, maybe I should probably figure out how to punish Demo Man, or I should be fuzzy guarding. Like, I should be really quick on this, or I should, you know, punish Death Fist. Because Lucky Koi can punish Death Fist with her down forward 3-3, because it reaches. So, point being, figure out what your opponent's doing, what habits they like to do, and then punish them on it, and then mix it up. You don't always have to do strings all the time, because once you get into like higher levels and top levels and such, and this can go for any game, try new things, mix it up, poke, do things, keep it pressured. Like, do anything you can, try new things. Like, don't be afraid. If something is working, don't be afraid to keep doing it. And if something's not working, try something new. But also, it's still have it in your like bag of mix-ups, supposedly. So, again, I know this may be confusing for a lot of people. Like, they don't know what I'm trying to explain and such. But again, it's just things you're gonna have to understand. Like when you're at a tournament level or local level, you need to find what your opponent likes to do, what are your bad habits, change it up, and if they know how to punish you, change it up. Go back to the basics. Go for grabs, go for pokes, whatever, sidestep. Try new lows that you don't like using, etc. Like, get in their face, and if they know they don't want to press a button when you're like doing this shit, because I've done this to people and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You want to press a button, I'm gonna wait, just gonna wait, and then I hop kick them, and they're like, what the hell? What? And they get scared. Remember, that is the other, like, the person you are facing is another human. They will make mistakes. You need to find that mistake. We're all humans. We will always make a mistake. Like, pro players make a lot of mistakes too. Anyone can beat anyone. I always say this to tell this to people, that people can make mistakes all the time, and anyone can beat anyone. It's just enough practice, enough training for yourself, understanding like the mechanics of a game or anything in general, and then you get better at it. Fix your mistakes, get better, try new things, figure out things, and then you're like, oh wow, cool, I know how to do this. Now, I think that should be it. That's like one of the things I wanted to talk about. It's just remembering, like, you know, don't go into autopilot, poke a lot, and if you can get that hop kick or down forward 2, or if they did a launch punch move, because this game has a lot of homework that you're gonna have to do, sadly. It's just remembering like a lot of these characters' moves and strings and grabs and how to break them, what is launch punishable, what is safe, what is unsafe, etc. Really training yourself. So it's just the little things, especially to Tekken, that you're gonna have to learn. And I mean, it should be helpful, hopefully. If anyone could make use of this video. But I'll probably make another video explaining this whole thing again, like with better editing and such. But yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about, because it's been on my mind. I was like, oh yeah, people should listen to this, or if they want to learn about new things. Because again, Lucky Koi, it's not that strong. She's very, very launch punishable a lot of things, but I still find ways to figure out like, oh yeah, this person doesn't know how to block the toes a lot, or they don't know this low right here, this knockdown, or they don't know about this, they don't know about breaking this grab, etc. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, hopefully this video helps you. Again, if you guys have any questions or you guys have suggestions and all that stuff, leave it down in the comments, or any questions about Lei or Lucky Koi, I will gladly do my best to answer it. If there's any like other ideas you guys want me to talk about, I'm planning to make another video about chickening, like how to chicken in Tekken and such, and then probably something else, I don't know. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like my video, if you guys want to see more content from me, again, I haven't been posting much Tekken content as of lately due to I just can't find opponents, honestly. So I'm kind of resorting like to educational training videos, I guess. They're not the greatest, but something, I guess. But yeah, there will be more Tekken. Just give me time, or I'll probably like play another fighting game. But other than that, Frosty's is almost here and all that such. So yeah. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, helps me out on the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah, this is like I really don't know where I was going with this, but it was just the idea I wanted to talk about. Come on, Harada, invite me to the bar. Come on, let's go to the cookout. Tekken 8, man, I need a PS5. I just miss League so much, man. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.